Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. And welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Oh, the struggles I go through for my art. I got a bottle behind my tablet. I have my iron helm box in front of the tablet, holding it up so it doesn't fall this direction. On top of the Die in the Dungeon box. All of this just to try and get it level. I mean, it's not level, it's still a weird angle, so yay! Today we have our community center meeting thing, where we're a community in our cottages. You know, each cottage is 4 apartments, but there's a community meeting because we're a community, and we're going to talk about things like the quarterly walkthroughs, which, you know, if you ever rent, you have walkthroughs. That happens. And there's going to be chores and that sort of stuff. So, yay! I'm looking forward to the whole thing. Me with my I bring the I don't want to be here sort of vibe to any group. Thumbs up on that. Anyway, though, a couple things I wanted to talk about just because I wanted to talk about them before I forget about them forever. I have mentioned that you can bring down to its bare bones cosmic/existential horror if it's an object, person, object, being, location, or situation doing something or simply existing in a fashion we can't understand with little or no regard for health or human safety. And that's basically what it boils down to for cosmic/existential horror. But sometimes those definitions can be so loose. I was out walking the other night. Now my vision is terrible. I am nearsighted in this eye. I am farsighted in this eye. But I have astigmatism in both. Now a lot of people, when they draw pictures or make pictures in paint programs of what it looks like with astigmatism, they'd show the sharp bright lines that go through stuff. That I sometimes get. I also get bars of color, and sometimes, depending on the light source, there will be what looks like, if you look at a picture of an eye, the human eye online, close-up of the human iris, it looks pretty weird. If you bleach that out and then put a ghostly image of that with the pupil centered on the street light, and then it goes out around it, that's what it looks like. So I got ghostly images like that around some of the lights. Now, because my eyes are different, I can have 2 different astigmatic images trying to be processed by my brain for one image. It was like a cosmic horror event. Because this eye, looking at a street light, saw one image. Looking at the same street light, I saw a different image. My eyes, trying to put them together, well, my brain couldn't do it because same object, but that was like, saying, let's reconcile this and this, bring them together and focus into one object. It doesn't work. Well, that's what happened. That's what I was trying to do, looking at the street lights, and it hurt my brain. I was actually getting a headache from looking at it because it was trying to take the 2 disparate images and make them into one, but it couldn't. It was an object in a situation doing something or simply existing in a way that my brain could not understand with little or no regard for health or human safety. It was a street light. It has no regard for human health or safety. It was a cosmic horror event. Thumbs up for that. Anyway, it just struck me as funny while I was walking out and looking at it and getting a headache while looking at the light. So, yay for astigmatism. Also, I just wanted to check up on here, the list, because I've got stuff. I took a bunch of the things off of my table that I had against the back wall because I had forgotten these are just cheap Walmart tables. And the books and the games that I took off are made out of dead paper. Dead paper, dead trees. Dead trees are heavy. And I don't know what those tables are rated for. And I don't want there to be just a sudden crash as the table falls in. So I need to get like a small, if they make them small enough, something that I can prop up in the center of the table. So it's got like a fifth leg right in the middle holding it up where the joint is, because these things fold in half. So right at the moment, this stuff is behind me and not over there on the table because like I said, I just don't want it to fall through, so I'm looking for a different way to do things. Yay! Life is life. Life is life. And then, of course, I talked about the meeting coming up, but this one, I even was smiling and laughing about it while thinking about it on the way home to talk about it. And the thing is, it was a goofy thing that, what was funny about this? It was a crow and a dog. A video of a crow and a dog. Somebody had there was a dog and a crow, and they had their phone and they started recording it. Crows and such are wicked smart, and they have the capacity for play. This dog was just sitting like dogs do, looking this direction. The crow was back behind it. Whenever the dog looked in that direction, the crow would hop up and then pull on the hairs of its tail. Not to make a nest, because the minute the dog whipped its head around, the crow would make those hop away, with its wings ready to fly if it needs to, but it's not flying, it's just jumping away to be safe, and then the dog is watching it, so it just acts nonchalantly until the dog turns its head away, at which point, boing, 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 it's over there and yanking on the dog's tail again, at which point it turns around and the crow is doing that old, oh, do I need to fly? Do I need to fly? I'm hopping. Oh, that poor dog, but even just thinking about it, I smile about it. And again, nothing overtly funny. It's just a crow tormenting a dog, but it was just that capacity for play in the crow was just bloody awesome. I still laugh and smile about it. I mean, they are wicked smart, and oh my god, raccoons. Oh, if you ever have a raccoon, which you most likely will not, but if you have a raccoon, you really have to raccoon-proof your house. My therapist knew someone who had a raccoon, and they had to be very careful, because if that raccoon got into the kitchen, the raccoon would take all of the towels, stuff them into the kitchen sink, turn on the water, and then the water would fill up the sink, overflow onto the floor, and then they would just run and scoot across the wet floor on their belly. Raccoons are wicked smart. Thumbs up for that. Past that though, I have not really been doing much at all. I've just been surviving and trying to sleep and not doing a good job of it, so I didn't sleep well last night. Yay, and up way too early. Yay, but at least I got something done. This is probably not going to sound all that well, and I hope that's not true. I've got the iron helm boxed in front, and the microphone is over on that side. So I hope it's not blocking the microphone, because if it is, no one's going to be able to hear a thing. Oh boy. So maybe I'll have 20 minutes of stuff that I just have to throw out. I don't know. Also, still always working on my fiction stuff, keeping the non-human character who is nowhere close to the fictional city of Brookerton, South Carolina, where I set all this stuff in. But one of them, of course, being Malik, who is an urban legend, the Janky, because back in the 1800s, this mad genius became an acolyte of Kadiron, and if you do things for Kadiron, Kadiron does things for you, but your body will change. And this fellow was a madman, but liked to use human bodies and human beings as canvases and media for art. And when a private investigator brought some proof that stuff not good was going up there, the cops and the private investigator broke in and they discovered, yeah, it was nasty, you know, human bodies and corpses in art everywhere. And when they got to him, he was busy doing a ritual to bring a thing to life. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know the ritual was doing anything, because it was just a statue that had been coated in blood from the 12 people hanging by their ankles with their throats cut and their blood that just drained out of them. Well, they shot him down because, as an acolyte of Kadiron, his body had changed. He looked like a monster. And so they cleared out, buried, and identified the stuff they could, got all of the just stuff, and put it all in one place while they tried to figure out what to do with it. Part of it was that statue. It was a big cage-like thing with all these centipede-like deer legs along the side of the cage, with a human torso and a gigantic stag skull as the head. Stayed out in that yard for a year before it vanished one morning, and 100 years later, 1960, Malik woke up in the body. Malik has to eat like 3-4 people a year. Malik is a composite being of 12 victims. Having to victimize to survive is torture, but Malik can't do anything about it. It was a 3-part ritual. A ritual to bring life, a ritual for purpose, a ritual of release. Malik was brought to life, was supposed to go out on a reign of terror, and when finished, be brought back to be decommissioned. Malik was brought to life. Robert Jenke died. Robert Jenkin. And so he can't end himself or not do things to keep himself alive, because if he tries, he gets kicked out of the driver's seat. If he doesn't want to go hunt to eat, he gets kicked out of the driver's seat, the body goes and hunts and eats. If he hunts and doesn't want to eat who he finds, kicked out, the body eats. And it's horrific, because it being a cage, when Malik's jaws open, it's just a tube that dumps you through the jaws and into that cage, and all these like vine-like things start unraveling out of the bars, and they keep boring into your body until you can't knock them away, and then, you know, eventually you bleed to death, and then the digestive enzymes take care of stuff, and then your acid bleached nutrient stripped bones fall out the bottom and you're gone. And this is just destroying Malik's mind, but there's nothing he can do. There's more, but that's Malik. So I'm working on lots of stuff, and yay, I'm working on the people that, just to remind myself with Uncle Bonbons, because Uncle Bonbons, of course, is the Cryptid-owned corporation that is making snack and food products for both cryptids and humans. And it is the CEOs of it are both a mixture of humans with their third eye open and cryptids who are human cryptid, and so identify very strongly with human beings and don't want to do bad things to people, while at the same time getting a steady supply of human beings into the factories to be broken down into food and snack products. After all, candy floss hair. You remove the hair from the human being, you just spray it with a binding agent, sprinkle some human blood plasma sweetening on it, and cryptids love it. Candy floss hair is nice candy. So working on lots of stuff. And before I go, I just want to mention one thing. I'm still going to talk about this stuff on the whole vor thing. There are so many flavors of vor. One of the people that's on DeviantArt draws not wonderfully, but with a lot of enthusiasm. And their particular kink does not involve digestion. In fact, snakes will gorge themselves on busty young women. But they're not digested. They'll just like sleep there for the night and then they're out the next day, or they're just being brought along the ride on an aeroplane inside the snake's tummy. And then he had the idea of, I can't remember if it was, I mean, it doesn't really matter, like either a bus or a taxi service. It's like, you know, you either go to the bus stop or you call for a taxi and up comes a snake and it eats you, and then it slithers off to where you wanted to go, and then blah, up you come and there you go. So he doesn't like digestion, but he does love vor. So there are a lot of different varieties. I don't know if I'm going to be able to record anything game-wise. I am certainly going to try. I need to do something about the lighting situation, or else record, hopefully, back where it can't get to me. Unfortunately, when I get things in shape, and I put them in place, and I got my tablet in where it needs to be, I can no longer see what is happening. So if the tablet gets bumped while I'm recording, I would never know, because I'd be down here, the tablet is up there. I can't see the other side of the screen when the camera's facing downward, because the backward facing screen, well, it's facing backward. We'll work on something though, we'll get it. Plus, I have lots of games that I do want to play computer-wise for the channel still. Outpath is still a great one. Very relaxing, very fun. I want to get that done. But we shall see. And for each one of my Patreon patrons, you are beautiful and awesome people. Thank you so very much. Hopefully, very, very soon, I'm going to have the list up here. Well, I mean, not even hopefully. I am going to have the list of Patreon patrons back up here soon. But you know who you are. You are beautiful and awesome people, and you help me out to no end. It is appreciated. To everybody that leaves me comments, thumbs up and thank you. I do my best to answer, but with my executive function and dysfunction issues, I do what I can, but it's definitely not a given. But thank you, each and every one of you, because I do read them, if nothing else. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. So now, I am going to fake how we turn these things off. Have a good day.